guys, welcome to the Music Roundtable with our hosts Lyle,
Hello.
Clint,
Hello.
Kim, hi, and I'm Vicky, where we discuss our opinions and experiences of the music we love, or maybe not. So we had a question posed to us by some friends in a chat group, and it went like this. If you could compose the perfect concert, any artists alive or not, forgetting all the band dramas and allowing a window of time of about 6 hours, what and who are you picking? Think fantasy football, but musical. And location matters, time of year, order of appearance, gives us all the dream team details. So
I came up with ideas, but it was going to take me a bit. But
I haven't had enough time to think about it.
well, you can think about it. It's okay.
Yeah,
We'll go through ours, and then you'll be like, yeah, I want to use that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I think I'll do that because I have no idea yet.
Well, I think I come up with the Beatles opening act, and then I had Zeppelin.
You actually responded in the chat group.
Yeah, Zeppelin.
Look that up.
Zeppelin, Adams.
You're welcome.
So I had the Beatles for 30 minutes. So that'd be the opening because they wouldn't be able to play that. That's about all the songs they have anyway.
Ouch.
That's what they would play. Their sets weren't very long when they were.
Yeah.
Brian Adams, I had for 45.
Okay.
Only 45?
Yeah. Led Zeppelin was about 45, which I'm like, anyway.
Ugh. No, that's way too long.
Queen for 1 hour. Nickelback, 1 hour. Bon Jovi, 1 hour. And Def Leppard, hour and a half.
I think you gave Def Leppard way too much time.
Right?
And then at the end would be an all-star jam.
Ooh, that's a cool way to do it.
Okay, so I picked,
yeah.
of course, location-wise, I picked Vegas at the Planet Hollywood Theater, just because I've been there and I know
Because you've been there and you like it.
Yeah, and of course I would
It's
have
kind of
it
a smaller theater, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
More intimate.
take place in November because that's around our birthdays. So
So we're kind of looking at stuff that kind of reminds you of like Fox Fest. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Fox Fest. So enunciate your words, otherwise it sounds real bad.
Fox Fest 2.0, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
like,
okay, first of all, there's been several Fox Fests since the Fox Fest.
right, but
we
I'm
were
talking
doing it
about
at the
We're
first
talking
one, weren't we?
our original.
our original one.
Yes.
Yes.
which
We
was,
will talk about again. But
Yeah.
We'll do a thing on it because we were laughing about it earlier and it was really fun and it was good to talk. We're like, we don't remember anything about it. Yes,
Yes,
actually
we
we do.
Why were you wanting to know the bands?
I was
in
going
it?
to tell this the bands.
Okay.
So it was Rockhead, Svengali, April Wine, Tom Cochran, Ugly Kid Joe,
Yeah.
and the headliner was Def Leppard.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
It was so fun.
Wow, he's 50 and he can remember things.
Can't forget that one.
No,
But
that'll
we'll
be
get into that later.
that'll be a
That'll
fun
be a later.
conversation. So that's what
Yeah.
we're trying to do here is like make our own little Fox Fest or Lollapalooza or whatever
Well,
you want to call
as
it.
she
Your
put
dream.
it, as she put it in the chat group. Actually, okay, which friend proposed this?
That would have been our friend Heidi.
Which she started it, so she's not necessarily our friend anymore. And if it sucks, it's all her fault.
That's right.
We'll just blame it all on Heidi. Yes.
So yeah, so the bands could be live, dead, doesn't matter. Just pick any bands that you would like to see in a
in a
like
group
a festival
setting
or a
okay.
group setting or yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like the album question because like you have to kind of think which ones go together, or do you want to have them go together or not
now
have them go together?
this
Should it be
is
all the
why
genres?
I hadn't put down because my mind, like me
This
and
is-
Scarlett
yeah.
had a conversation after I saw the post.
Yeah.
and
Scarlett came up with one.
Yeah, she did. So I haven't replied to the post in the group chat that we're in.
Yeah.
But I proposed it to Scarlett, and me and her were discussing it, and there's just so many questions around how would you do it? And like, yes, it's great that it's fantasy, but you're not going to put, necessarily like this artist with this artist because it just wouldn't
doesn't
vibe
mesh.
the same way.
Well, that's what I did with the second and third one. I think answer too, because I was picking like a progressive rock tour.
Right. So
Like-
you could do more than one.
Like so, yeah. So I had Alan Parsons, Yes, and
Rush
Pink Floyd,
and Pink
and then and then I added Russian before Pink Floyd now. So, and then I had like a hair metal show, and
Yeah, so yours isn't helping me at all.
I did have
I'm not
one.
sure your husband's will either.
No, I think Vicky should go next.
Okay, fine. I did have one that I obviously I didn't reply to the chat group or anything like this. It was pretty much following we'll say a decade kind of format. And so what I would start is something like going from the 50s. So you start with Elvis as the start of the band. Then you follow into the 60s and you would take the Beatles.
Yeah.
You get into the 70s. I have to go with Zeppelin.
Yeah.
As you get into the 80s, obviously because of where we are with things, it had to be Def Leppard.
Yep.
Okay.
Didn't have to be.
Have we met? Yeah.
Obviously, it got into the 90s. It got really difficult for me there because there's just so many different bands that I could potentially choose from. Probably wouldn't be to the caliber that everyone else is, but I probably would have picked something like Tea Party.
Okay.
And then as you get into the 2000, probably kind of finalize it out and finish with something like Nickelback.
Okay.
And me being me, you know.
We need a lot longer than 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like in 2 days.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because you wanted to talk venue and stuff like this. Damn right, it's going to be local.
Yeah.
No way I'm traveling down south or wherever for it. Like, that's going to be a local show here. Depending on what you could get on the thoroughfare, something like, if you could do it, the Queenie would be awesome, amazing for it.
That would be. Yeah.
And time of year really doesn't matter on this one for me, because you could do any time at the Queenie. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I didn't think about time of year.
No, I didn't think of that either.
I just think it was a lot cooler in
I
November in
think- I
Vegas.
think-
so that's
Yes.
why
I think part of the one in Lyle's case, the answer was like ultimately because it was his birthday. So it's like, this is my birthday concert.
Yeah.
And then I think the other reasons for the time of the year is if you're doing an open air festival, something like Fox Fest, because Fox Fest was on Seabird Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
in
July.
the middle of summer. So
Yeah.
you had that time open air, which obviously acoustically is a whole different thing altogether as well. I just like the Queenie, the amphitheater setting and stuff like this.
Smaller
That's-
venue.
Yeah.
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 More intimate.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't help me still. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of broke. I ended up coming up with like 3 different options too. I kind of broke it down by genre. So I did like my ultimate rock concert would be Guns N' Roses to open, then Poison, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Nickelback, and when this question was originally proposed, the only thing I could come up with was that I would want Queen to finish a concert, and I would give them the most time tied with Nickelback because they're 2 of my favorite bands.
That's fair.
Which stands to reason because that is your
Yeah.
favorite band. And I think, you responded because you agreed with Lyle's. And
I did. I said I would always want Queen to the
except
end.
for switching them around.
But yeah, I kind of agreed with his lineup too. And of course, Bon Jovi would have to include Richie Sambora. It wouldn't be like
definitely.
No,
the
yeah, you
old,
couldn't
the
have-
new,
no.
the new Bon Jovi. It had to be
Yeah.
old Bon Jovi.
Also, I picked one of them. It was White Snake, but I'm like, well, I need to have Steve Vai and Vivian Campbell as guitar players. But even though they didn't play together, right?
Right?
So,
Yeah. But this is ignoring all of that stuff.
Exactly.
So it's like fantasy.
See, but that one is almost becomes to, if they're inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, having a tie into it, you
Yeah.
would bring all members back. So at some point, all members
Exactly.
would be a part of it. So there is
Yeah,
that
and then something like
aspect.
that because it's a rock concert. I'd probably do like again local, but like at Rogers because it's. I mean, especially Nickelback is awesome there.
That's fair.
And then I kind of did like a pop one, which would include like Madonna, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, and then Pink. Because I've always wanted to see Pink in concert, but just couldn't afford her tickets.
No, exactly.
So yeah, so I thought that would be really cool. And of course, Pink would have the biggest portion of the time because
Heck yeah.
from what I've heard, her stage shows are amazing.
Yes.
Which does coincide with the ticket prices. It just sucks that our ticket prices are so high.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also did like a kind of like an old/new country. So it started off with like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
They were just
so good.
awesome together. A little bit of Anne Murray, some Reba McEntire, Randy Travis, and then Faith Hill, Garth Brooks, and I forgot Shania Twain.
Yes, gotta have Shania
But again,
Twain
it's
in
like,
there.
yeah, that one and like the pop one. The pop one for sure I would need more than 6 hours.
Yeah.
I would need
like the country one. I like the country one. I think that would be
I'd go to
along
the
the
country
same
one.
long lines of what I would have in there. But add in Shania Twain, but
Yep.
also add in Paul Brandt. You got to have a Canadian kid in there, and he's really good. So that I like that one.
And I did actually, in my notes back to the group, I did add Bryan Adams into the pop.
Yeah, got to add Bryan
mention
Adams.
mention that I would need a lot longer than 6 hours for that particular.
Well, you need a whole weekend.
concert. Yeah,
2
that would be
days.
like another Fox Fest type
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. It's hard to do is 6.
That,
But they have to start at like early
2
in the morning
a.m.?
to be like, yeah,
o'clock in the morning.
Are they even
it'll be an
awake?
all day event,
Right?
not just 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or a weekend or
gosh.
whatever. Yeah.
See, that was
Yeah.
where, like, that's, like, I just kind of came up with the quick one with the decades or whatever, but that's when I was thinking when the question was originally proposed, well, what groups, what are you doing on, like, some artists work great this way, and, all Canadian groups, and, like, there's so many things
Yeah.
that I would do with it. So it's much like, what's your favorite song? No, fuck you.
Who's your favorite band?
okay.
Who would you want to be? Yeah, I don't know. There's probably more that we could come up with too, like given a little bit more time. But
Well, that's
To
just
think
it.
and-
Like, I don't even know.
because there's so many people that I haven't seen ever live that I would love to see live. You know?
That's true. I don't know.
Like that's where some I thought would be is like there's obviously some artists that have passed along the way. So if there was a way that you would have been able to see them, that would have been cool. So
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's your shows. All of a sudden you got the Doors coming out and Jimi Hendrix. And,
Right?
That's like the dream concert.
Yeah.
Like even seen like from the late
Yeah,
60s.
Live Aid all over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or like when you said it that way, I kind of went like, what about the Seattle bands? Like that would be really good too. So you would have
Well, that was another one that was-
Soundgarden, and you would have Pearl Jam, and
That's actually one of the ones I did because.
Did you do that? 'Cause
when,
that's-
when I was talking to Scarlett, I was talking about it because obviously Pearl Jam was made out from the death of the singer from Mother Love
The
Bone.
Mother Love Bone.
So
you could have the
Mother-
more Finn, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was the roommate of Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. So literally, you'd have Mother Love Bone and then Soundgarden, then follow with some Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
And obviously, because they were in the scene, you could put in Nirvana
Alice in
and
Chains.
Alice in Chains.
That's okay. See,
that-
now you're taking my thing. That's what I was.
He's helping.
He
He's
took
helping.
over.
He's helping.
I finally had like once. I was like,
Sorry,
I know
sorry,
it is.
sorry.
That's okay.
Good.
No, it's good. We're done. That was.
I was going to add Queensrÿche with Jeff Tate.
Yes, Queensrÿche. That's what I was saying. Like Seattle, so you would have the Seattle bands. Like that
Yeah.
would be a really good one, and unfortunately, you'd have to have that one in Seattle. I know, we love Seattle, but it's just right now we don't want to go to the States.
Yeah.
No, like that one, I would agree. It is the
Yeah.
venue would
In
have to be
Seattle.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't necessarily be the big stadium. As I would do
No.
it in the old clubs that they used to frequent.
Wasn't there? Yeah, there's. I don't know which old clubs there are, but wouldn't there be a nice outdoor venue that's not the big venue? I don't know which ones are down there.
Isn't
Oh, if
the
they
Gorge?
did it at the park.
Oh, the
Yeah,
gorge.
the
Yeah,
gorge.
that's
Yeah.
often.
Gorge.
Yeah.
That's the one. I was like, there's one that's like outside, and I can't remember, but it's not the stadium. It's not like
Yeah.
So that's where we would have it, and have it like in the spring, early summer. Yeah.
I was thinking they should do it at the park in Seattle, the one like where they tore down the building. All the equipment is still there, but the building's missing. It's all the green space.
Are you talking about the Pipeworks?
Yeah, Parks Park. That would be cool right there.
That would be cool because it's right on the water. Beautiful.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that would be good. So there's one. Thanks for the help on that. No, but you got what I was saying, so that's why,
Yeah.
because I'd only just started like thinking, okay, Seattle, we could just do that, the whole Seattle thing, right? The only other one I've got kind of written down here, which is just very, very quickly and not really well thought out, is like Tesla, then Winger, and Green Day, and Bon Jovi, and Nickelback. I don't know; those all kind of seem like they would go together. I have no idea where.
Well, they don't really even have
You don't
to go
even
together.
necessarily have to. Yeah.
That's hard though. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know which way would you even put these people? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Because like thinking back to Fox Fest, like
Yeah, I guess
I
I, wouldn't
wouldn't
have
put
put them
in,
all
like,
together.
Tom Cochrane doesn't really match the genres of the other bands that were
Could do.
there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Right? That's true. Fair enough. So you could
Because
do like
one of these festivals, you want to hit every genre. Like
Yeah.
fans would come in because I want to see them, or
Yeah.
put them in the middle or
what?
something like that.
We're bringing other people. No.
But that's what I mean. Like and people come and see them, and then they could see like, oh, okay, well, I really want to see that band, but all these other bands, I guess I'll kind of stick around.
Well, that's why I liked Clint's idea about
okay.
the different decades, like an artist
Yeah.
from each decade kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought of another one. Hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but like that's
The
what I was,
brainstorm.
well, that's where my mind was just trying to come. What would be the best representative to each
Yeah.
decade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would be cool because you could blend it together like take the Beatles, how their sound evolved, and that, but you do the same thing. So you would take an artist, so you take your artist in the 50s and kind of bring his sound as it changes, and then you follow into literally the next generation. So whatever the head band would follow that generation, and then you lead into the 70s and into
Yeah.
the 80s and so on and so forth. And I know when I hit 2000, I just kind of blended it together with Nickelback, but whatever.
Well, that's when I came up with the one for the progressive. I'm like, yeah, I'd really like to see them, but do I really want to see them all together? Truthfully, because it would probably be asleep. Truthfully, because it's such a mellow show. Like it'd be a great spectacle
Okay.
of the concert, but like it's a stoner show. Like, it's all you would.
Yeah.
It'd just be pot everywhere and away you go, right? But
Yeah, that's okay.
But it would put you to sleep, or you get hungry, or you get
I
hungry.
agree.
One of the two.
One of
But
the two. Yep.
that's what I was kind of thinking. And then the other one with the hair metal one, it was more upbeat and
Yeah.
and whatever, right?
I think it's almost easier to pick in genres because when you were talking, this is what I came up with. Because I was like, how would you do this one? You don't really like rap, right, Vicky?
I'm not a huge fan of rap, but
so here we go. Because I like all of these. LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, Run DMC, Salt and Peppa, Beastie Boys, and Eminem. Like Eminem would be the one that ends the show. But I was like, oh, all of those together would be like,
that actually wouldn't be half bad.
wouldn't you, right? That'd
Yeah.
be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But I always like the all-star jam at the end, so that would be a
Yeah. Oh my God, all of them together at
Yeah.
the end. Whew, nice.
Well,
I think
the-
that just
the-
sets it right, and that's an easy genre, right?
This is actually
Yeah.
an interesting one because there is there is rap artists or whatever, but there is a rock element to certain
Oh, for
artists
sure.
in there, so
Yeah.
it would be an interesting.
Well, because
mix.
Run DMC, right? Like they did with Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I was like, wait, Queen Latifah was amazing. Salt and Peppa, like they're rap, but they're like rock rap, right?
Yeah.
So they're really good. LL Cool J is definitely more rapping, and so is
Yeah.
Eminem. Beastie Boys is more like rock rap. But it's like I would go to that. I don't know who else I would add in there, but those are the ones that came into my head at the snap decision,
Yeah.
It'd be an experience.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Rap, a rap one. Yeah.
Oh, that was when like I said, I wish I remember what Scarlett. I told her to write it down and send it to me, but I wish I remember what she came up with. But one of the things that we were doing on it is we were doing literally like a festival situation. So because we had that 6-hour window, we were pretty much opening band, side stage, and all this. So you tear down the other band, like literally. So this one finishes, this one starts. This one finishes, this one starts, and all
Yeah.
this. And so you just alternate stages or whatever. So everyone's got good seats no matter where they are, and just keep
And there's not really any downtime in between bands,
and you just kind of keep the music going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too with mine.
Especially if you want to cram all those bands into a 6
Oh yeah,
hour
you're
period.
not
Like, yeah, you
gonna
can
do it.
rotate the stage and you're setting up the.
Like I
Yeah.
know when she did it, I think she put Apocalyptica in there.
Oh, that'd be good.
It was one of those things. She put them in there, and she's just like, I just don't know if they would put me to sleep at a certain point.
That's why you do it for the end because it just relaxes you. And
Well, and that's
Well,
why
you
I
can put it in the
think, that's
middle
why I
like a
think she had them.
Like you could
Yeah,
always
put it
come
in
out
the
for a prelude, like
Yeah.
play a couple of Metallica songs or whatever, right? Or whatever they're doing.
let's
Just
lull
as
them
a, like,
into a
cha-
comfort zone and then rock their asses off.
I was going to say that is most shows. Welcome to the encore. You are getting sleepy. Not
not
happening
anymore.
now.
No.
It's 11 o'clock at night, and you're not going to bed tonight.
That's right. Oh my gosh! And you could do even just like
Those are the
all
best kinds of concerts.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are.
You could do one that's just Canadiana. You could do
Well, see, that was one of the ones that was in my head. Is also like, okay, well, I could, and of course, these are bands I've seen or whatever. But it's like I could take Tea Party and Headstones and Theory of a Dead Man.
Oh, Theory of a Dead Man would be
you know,
good in
just,
that. Yeah.
Like all these different Canadian bands, and just like here we go.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
But there was a tour, and I wanted to go to it, and it got canceled because of stupid COVID.
Oh yeah, that one was so
it was,
good.
Saints and Sinners tour.
Yeah.
So it would have been Tea Party and Headstones.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Big Wreck and what
was it called? Saints and Sinners.
Saints and Sinners tour.
Let's see, because it's still on here. We bought tickets.
I did. I was so disappointed when it
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
canceled. Moist. I think the other one was Moist.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they were going to try again. It never worked out, but
That's hard to
it
plan.
was Headstones, Moist, Sloan, Tea Party.
Okay, so when one of them pulled out, then
Yeah.
because it did change because one of them had to pull out, and then
Yeah.
eventually the whole thing got canceled because of COVID. Stupid COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Messed up a lot of things, but it is
Sure
what
did.
it is.
They say it's the same, but it's not the same. Nothing's ever been the same.
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so that would be good. Yeah. If they would do that. They won't, but
Somebody posted something about it, and it's like, are they going to do it? But I
No.
haven't seen anything.
No, they're probably
Dang it.
not, but now.
No.
Not now. Well, they might.
They might.
You never know.
If someone asks them, they
Yeah,
might
maybe.
do it.
Ooh, another good one would be
There you go.
yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, we could get them to set it up again. Everybody wants this. We want to go to it.
Well,
Yeah.
people are asking that now, like on their Facebook page. Do you want us to come to your city and sign up for?
Yes, we do. We
Because I
want
did
you all
that
to
for
come.
Tom Kiefer, the singer of Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
He's been touring around the States, but I'm like, no, I want him up here.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like, oh, you
Come
can
to
sign
Canada.
up and you can ask them to come up here. If they get a certain amount of requests,
Yeah.
then they come up. Yeah. I don't know. I just nowadays though with ticket prices, I'm afraid to see how much this would cost.
It would be so expensive and it would be very depressing that people couldn't go and enjoy it, right?
Yeah, because I don't even remember do you remember how much the tickets for Foxfest were?
Like $25.
So,
Yeah. We have them here still somewhere.
oh,
Do
It
you?
might even be $21.50. I don't remember, but it was cheap and camping was like $10. So
Camping was almost more than.
Let's
more than the
see.
ticket. Yeah, $10.
Once
a
we
night or
finally
something.
found the campsite.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We'll talk about that in another
Oh, I know. But you guys brought it up, and there's just all these memories coming.
Oh,
up.
I know. Yeah, that's flooding back. It was good times, good times. But
Yeah,
they
with all
need
the
more
other
of that
festivals,
stuff.
yeah, because there has
Yeah.
been a lot of festivals, but
Yeah, but they're not necessarily. They're not like that. You know, they're not mixed, or they're just certain.
Well, there
things.
is some, and they
there's-
are quite mixed.
Are they? But are they okay? Maybe they're just not people we've heard of.
Well, that's just it. Is they are catering? Unfortunately, we're not the demographic anymore.
Well,
so they're
We're a demographic, not that one.
well, there's a lot of hair
Right?
metal bands, and they're playing like a lot of festivals in the States, or they set up like 2-day weekend shows, and it's
What's
all the
one
80s.
What's the one that's up here that happens in August?
Ambleside.
There's
Yeah, what is
Ambleside.
that? Yeah, does that one have anything we like?
Well, Glass Tigers played there,
Well, we like Glass Tiger.
but I know like there's going to be one in Mexico or something. Rock the Tides. It's Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and there's
Okay,
Extreme. And
Is this like Coachella too? There's
no, that
Coachella?
one's at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. So there's that one, but I know like a lot of bands they'll do like a cruise and
Yeah, I've seen the cruises, which is actually a cool idea. If you ever wanted to do like a cruise vacation and stuff like this, and you're a fan of like music and stuff,
Yeah.
Because what would happen is the artist would be on the same ship with you, and then there would be set venues where you could see the artist live on the show.
what did you just find?
Oh, it's looking
Hi.
up the ticket price for
Maybe it was that much. I thought it was like 25.
for Foxfest,
Yeah,
the one
was
that
it
we went to in
39?
'93. What was that?
Was it $39?
$32.75.
Okay.
$32.75.
Yeah,
That's a
somebody
weird
posted
amount.
a picture of their ticket stub.
Wow,
$32.75.
Yep. For six
mind you, that was a
bands.
lot of money for us back then.
That,
mean,
that,
it
that was a
was.
huge amount of money for us back then. But I'm just thinking now, the service fees on top of that.
Oh, you
I know.
couldn't afford to go.
I think that's what kills me
Yeah.
nowadays is the service fees. Like, in no sense should your service fees almost be
The price of your
the
ticket.
price of your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's for another episode too.
That is one we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we were going to, but things change.
There's also Pemberton Fest, and they have a lot of.
Yeah, those tickets are not cheap either.
No, they're not. But like Tragically Hip was there at one point. Coldplay, 9 Inch Nails.
But there is concerts to see, and there is. But it would just be interesting to some of these concerts like that never happened, and like you wish that they were still around or whatever, right? We know like the Beatles would obviously be retired now, Zeppelin probably, but just imagine what that would have been like to see those bands.
Yeah, when they were big.
That big.
Well, it's funny. Imagine what it'd be like to see those bands. But one, if you saw them in their heyday and stuff like this, it may not be as stellar as you think now.
That's the problem now too, right? Like, yeah, that's a good point.
Because we're just seeing it through other people's eyes, really, and pictures and video that was of that time.
Yeah.
Especially because I would have been pissed off because Beatles, when they were here, it got shut down.
That's right.
So you didn't even get a full concert.
No, they only played a couple songs, and that was it. And that was the last time they were ever here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and same with Elvis. I think Elvis got shut down too. So like,
yeah.
It's those rowdy boomers. They ruined everything.
Those boomers, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like.
Why it gets to be like that? Damn generation before me.
Ruined everything, including the freaking prices of housing.
Well, I can't find anything like super recent, but like I came across an article of the Pemberton Festival from 2013. And those tickets were $189 for the weekend.
That's not bad. Terrible. And that's for the whole weekend. So, yeah. It's not bad.
And I know last year the Nickelback show, I forget how much we paid for.
About 120 or something, wasn't it? 130, something like that?
Yeah.
And then we couldn't get into the Nickelback thing this year.
No.
That's so stupid.
And that's another festival,
and
right?
that was, and that one was pricey. Wasn't it 130?
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, that's not bad for a weekend.
No, for all those bands.
It just adds up once you have to go with the ferry ride and where to stay, etc. Like it adds up pretty fast.
But yeah.
But I paid this much money to stand on a hill and barely see the artist.
Yes.
But you can hear the music. That's the important thing.
That's sometimes it, like...
Don't get me wrong. Take my credit card.
Right.
But a lot of these shows, like, I could care less if I see the artist.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the Alan Parsons, yes, Rush, like Pink Floyd, you experience it. You just sit back, you listen to the music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because a lot of these artists now, they don't look as good as they used to.
You're just like, I'm just going to like put a blindfold on and pretend and just listen.
But, yeah. But
like Bryan Adams, don't get me wrong, love him.
Yeah.
But I would rather just sit and listen to him. I don't need to like...
To visual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's still a decent looking dude, but you know.
It just reminds us how old we're getting too.
Exactly, right?
We don't need that reminder in front of us on the stage.
Does it change a little bit when you look up going, who's that old guy on stage?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's home and like I just kind of thought of like, Nazareth and what was the other one? Credence Clearwater Revival.
CCR, yeah.
I love all of that stuff.
Right.
And it would be amazing to have seen. Wait, didn't Nazareth come back like last year? Like Nazareth still tours.
Yeah, no,
not
still
often,
touring.
but they do.
Yeah, I can't remember where they were.
But then would they be good?
Yeah, see, I originally had like Alabama in my country lineup too, and I was just like, I don't know, like there's too many. There's too many.
It's one of those ones. It's the same thing as like, your favorite album? Favorite song
you'd
of
have to
all
have
time,
you have to have your math kind of problem solved already. Like, which way are we doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. If this is how we're doing it, I can come up with a bunch of different ones.
Well, that's what I keep thinking ever since that
I
was
need
brought up. I'm like, I've got another idea. I've got another idea.
I need the logistics. It makes it easier to figure it out, right? Once you have the logistics, then you can go, okay, I can give you a bunch of them.
But it's just kind of your dream concert. What you would really want to.
It would take a month or more to actually see all of the dream concerts you would want, right? Like that lineup.
Like just what you could come up with just in your head.
Oh my God, there'd be too many.
Yeah.
Too many, but it would be fun to come up with them all.
Well, what's funny is obviously it's an interesting question posed with whatever.
Yeah.
Posed to us.
Posed to us,
Interesting question asked of us.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But if you think about a music promoter and stuff like this is a daily task.
I know.
Like,
So their brain is wired differently, and they get paid
Yeah.
lots of money to do it.
well, no,
Exactly.
they do.
We're doing this for free.
They pretty much have a bulletin board, all the artist lists or whatever. Okay, we have to have a festival in Pemberton or whatever, and it's okay. Call that person, that person, that person, that person. They can do it. They can do it. No. Okay, now call that person, that person, that person.
Yeah.
Okay, here, now we have a concert.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only it was that easy.
Maybe they just put all the names into the hat and they shake it real good and go, okay, you pick one, and you pick one, and you pick one. And that's how, ooh, we should do that. That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be funny if that was how a concert was made, though? Like,
Just random.
and promote it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Just
joking.
a random all music tour.
I'm not kidding. We should do that. We need to like each write so many bands down, and we throw them in a hat, and we pick like 6, and that is our lineup. I think we should do that after, because that's just funny.
Just to see.
See
just
what,
to
see what
we
it comes up with.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it.
That's a hard one to pick, I think.
is,
Of
yeah.
like,
It definitely is.
because we like so many bands. But
We're just so
Would be
indecisive.
well, what you want to experience, right? And
But
like-
what's cool about
You
that?
know, I just
what's
want to
neat?
experience everything.
Everything.
yeah,
We do.
pretty much.
What's interesting though is around this table, there is so many different
Music points of view.
musical tastes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, so to do like you said and write down and everybody and then
Random. I think it's gonna
and
be
then
fun.
yeah, you just kind of pick random.
Yeah.
Is like you could have like the weirdest and most awesome show in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as nobody puts Led Zeppelin in there. Just kidding.
I'll be doing that.
I'm kidding. I don't hate Led Zeppelin. Jeez.
It's just not your favorite.
It's not my favorite. I'll listen
Yeah.
to it. I when it plays, I'm like, okay. But it's
Like,
not like I'm
nobody
gonna
even
go-
said anything about like AC/DC. They put in an amazing show.
Yeah, they do.
Metallica.
I had Metallica on one of my lists. I
Did
just
you?
didn't say it.
Okay.
Metallica.
Yeah. Like they're still touring. They put on an amazing show.
I had an see that when it came to the 80s or whatever, I had to think, and I've seen them both.
I know.
It's which one do you go with, right? And I took Death Leopard. But
Which I've seen, lots of times.
Lots of times.
But yeah, you just don't know. And who you
Well, that was my original thought too. When I was doing my pop list, I was like, oh, I was going to put Bryan Adams on there, but I'm like, I've seen him a bunch of times already, so I'll leave him off for now. But then I was like, no, I really need to have.
Gotta
him
have
there
him
too.
on there, yeah. Or they only play so many songs, so maybe they only get 2 songs.
Maybe,
Well,
and
that's
then
why
you
I
can
said,
fit
like,
more
in an
bands
hour.
in.
You
Yeah.
got 30 minutes, you got 45 minutes. You better pick your top songs. Like,
Yeah.
don't pick
Yeah.
anything.
Don't pick an 11-minute song, guys. You're gonna
No.
like.
Yeah,
Like-
right. No November Rain from DNR.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
Once again, I
when
had
you're
it-
limited on time, you got to
Yeah.
pick your best songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The well-known songs. You're not going to
Yeah.
pick like a deep cut or anything because
No.
you want that crowd to be.
You get 3
Yeah.
songs. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, see, when me and Scarlett were discussing this, what we were actually working was you do the band themselves do a medley of their songs. Literally, don't stop for this song, that song. You do
that's a good idea, too.
That's even a good idea.
a medley of your songs. So it's just like, boom, here comes the Beatles,
Smorgasbord.
and just blah 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 blah, and on to the next band.
Kind of like
I
what
like
Queen
that
did
idea
at,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at Live Aid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smorgasbord.
But that's not a bad idea
It's
either.
not a bad
No.
idea.
That gives you the best encompassment of their music, and then like I said,
Without having to pigeonhole yourself into 2 or 3 songs.
yeah.
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 I like it.
I like it.
Interesting.
It's a good twist on it too.
Music promoters, contact us for more on this. But
Trademark.
pay
Yes.
us.
Yes, exactly.
Trademarked.
We ain't doing
TM.
this crap for free.
That's right. Doing that for free.
I'm easy, not cheap.
Well, look at see you're cheap, not easy.
Well, I am cheap.
All right.
On that note, we
Yeah.
will catch you on the B side.
Thank you for joining us on the Music Roundtable. Please like and comment where you listen to the podcast. And make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. Until next time.